New supply thinking you'll be happy with the narcissist, you actually get this surprise. Have you ever been in a situation where you thought the relationship was going to be different? You believe that this time it was different. You thought that maybe the narcissist had changed, or perhaps they had finally found someone who could meet their needs without triggering their flaws. The new supply, fresh and eager, unaware of the depths of the narcissist's true nature, steps into a relationship with optimism. They believe they'll be the one to make the narcissist happy, to be the answer to all their problems. But what happens next is often not what anyone could have predicted. What they get instead is something that might shake their understanding of reality, leaving them feeling deceived, confused, and lost. In this video, we will explore the shocking truth of what the new supply really experiences when they think they'll be happy with the narcissist, only to find themselves caught in a web of manipulation and emotional turmoil. Have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens behind the scenes when a narcissist moves on from their previous source of supply? The moment when a new person enters their life, often feeling like they've finally found someone who will give them the love and admiration they've always wanted. But what happens next is far from the fairy tale they believe they're living. The narcissist is a master manipulator when it comes to maintaining an image of a loving, attentive partner. At first, the new supply, as they are often called, is caught up in the whirlwind of attention, compliments, and promises. It's easy to believe that this is real love, that they've found someone who truly values them. But the truth is much darker and more complex. What they perceive as love quickly transforms into a harsh cycle of control, emotional abuse, and exploitation. The new supply soon finds themselves trapped in a relationship designed to serve the narcissist's needs alone, and by the time they realize it, the damage has already begun. Now, before diving any deeper into this disturbing pattern, it's important to address a crucial point. The new supply is often viewed through a lens of naivete, or sometimes even perceived as being overly hopeful about the narcissist's ability to change. They may believe that the narcissist's charming, confident exterior is a sign of genuine affection, or they may convince themselves that the promises of change are sincere. But this is where things get complicated. It's important to acknowledge that many people who enter relationships with narcissists are hopeful. They want to believe in the possibility of improvement and genuine connection. The narcissist, however, thrives on manipulation, and this behavior doesn't change just because there's a new person in their life. Instead, the narcissist will use the same tried and true methods that have worked on their past partners, slowly but surely leading the new supply into the same patterns of emotional devastation that have marked the relationships before them. The way a narcissistic relationship unfolds is often predictable, almost like a script that the narcissist follows with each new partner. It begins with the stage of love bombing, where the narcissist overwhelms their new partner with affection, attention, and admiration. In the initial phase, the narcissist seems like the perfect partner, attentive, caring, and full of promises about a blissful future together. The new supply is swept off their feet, and for a brief period, they may feel like they've found the perfect partner. They're convinced that this is the kind of love they've always wanted and never thought they would find. The narcissist feeds them this illusion, making them feel special, desired, and important. During this honeymoon phase, everything feels perfect, and the new supply may even start to imagine a lifetime together, believing that they've finally found their soulmate. But as time moves on, things begin to shift in a subtle yet unmistakable way. The narcissist, true to form, slowly reveals their true nature. What once felt like an unbreakable bond of love and attention becomes an erratic emotional roller coaster. The narcissist moves from being deeply affectionate to suddenly withdrawing, becoming critical, and belittling their partner. The new supply, who once felt adored, is now left feeling neglected and unimportant. The narcissist starts to use their partner not for the emotional connection, but for validation and admiration. The new supply is no longer the object of affection, but the object of use. This is the beginning of the devaluation phase. The narcissist, having achieved their goal of securing a new source of supply, now begins to manipulate and emotionally harm them, often in subtle ways that take time for the new supply to fully recognize. What makes this phase even more dangerous is the narcissist's skill at deflecting blame. They will frequently tell the new supply that any issues in the relationship are their fault. If the narcissist becomes distant, angry, or dismissive, they will shift the blame onto their partner, convincing them that it's their behavior or shortcomings that are causing the problems. This manipulation twists the reality of the relationship, making the new supply feel responsible for the narcissist's moods, actions, and emotional outbursts. Over time, this creates a toxic dynamic where the new supply feels obligated to fix everything, to smooth over the narcissist's emotional volatility. The narcissist may even make the new supply feel as though they are the only one who truly understands them, further isolating them from their friends, family, and support system. This isolation serves to deepen the narcissist's control, making it harder for the new supply to break free or even recognize the damage being done. But the manipulation doesn't stop there. Narcissists often engage in gaslighting, a particularly insidious form of emotional abuse. The narcissist will manipulate the new supply's sense of reality, making them doubt their own perceptions, memories, and feelings. The new supply begins to question what is real, wondering if they are overreacting, being too sensitive, or imagining things. The narcissist will twist facts, deny their actions, and even contradict themselves, making the new supply feel confused, disoriented, and unsure of their own judgment. This constant emotional confusion wears down the new supply's self-esteem and self-worth, leaving them vulnerable to further manipulation. They start to second-guess their own feelings and lose their sense of identity, unsure of who they are outside of the narcissist's influence. This emotional turmoil can be exhausting, and the new supply becomes trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, unable to trust themselves or their instincts. As the narcissist's control over the new supply deepens, they often find themselves gradually giving more and more of their time, emotional energy, and personal resources to the relationship. They hope, against all odds, that the narcissist will eventually return to being the loving, attentive partner they once were at the beginning. They might convince themselves that if they give just a little more, whether it's affection, understanding, or patience, the narcissist will finally change. But this is where the cruel trick comes into play. The narcissist doesn't change. Instead, they only take more. They exploit their partner's hope and dedication, drawing even more from them, leaving them feeling drained, empty, and emotionally worn down. Over time, the new supply starts to notice that they are constantly exhausted and overwhelmed. Yet the narcissist's demands and manipulations continue without any sign of relief. They feel isolated, sometimes even desperate for some kind of validation or affection from the person who has made them feel so small. They may have moments where they wonder if it's them that's broken or incapable of being the kind of partner the narcissist needs. The emotional toll becomes heavier and more unbearable with each passing day, as the narcissist's pattern of control only intensifies. What the new supply often fails to realize, however, is that they are not the first to fall into this trap, and they certainly won't be the last. Narcissists cycle through people much like they would any other disposable object, using them up, draining their energy, and then discarding them when they are no longer able to serve the narcissist's fragile ego. The narcissist's cycle of idealization, devaluation, and discard isn't a reflection of the new supply's worth or value as a person. It's a testament to the narcissist's deep inability to truly connect with anyone on a meaningful, authentic level. The new supply is merely another pawn in the narcissist's game, caught up in a web that was already spinning long before they entered the picture. Once the narcissist no longer feels that they are getting the validation and admiration they crave, they will simply discard the new supply and move on to the next source, just as they've done countless times before. At this point, many may be left wondering, why do narcissists keep coming back? Why do they continue seeking out new sources of supply even after they've discarded one? The answer lies in their insatiable and never-ending need for validation. Narcissists are driven by an overwhelming desire to feel superior, admired and adored, and when they no longer receive that, they are quick to discard the current source and search for the next. This insatiable hunger for admiration doesn't come from a place of genuine love or connection. It's about feeding their ego. The new supply is merely a temporary fix for their need to feel special and above others. But this pattern of seeking new supply is not sustainable. Sooner or later, the narcissist will run out of fresh victims to exploit. The cycle will begin again, but eventually, the narcissist will find themselves in a position where they cannot repeat the cycle as easily, and the cracks in their facade will start to show. Even though they may find another target, the relationship is bound to follow the same path and lead to the same inevitable destruction. For the new supply, the most shocking and painful realization comes when they begin to understand that they have been manipulated from the very beginning. They entered the relationship with hope and optimism, believing that they could find happiness, only to discover that they were trapped in a toxic, one-sided relationship that was designed to serve the narcissist's needs, not theirs. The new supply may have convinced themselves that they were the one who could finally make the narcissist happy, that they could fulfill the narcissist's needs in ways that no one else had been able to do. They believed that their love, understanding, and patience could fix everything and make the narcissist truly appreciate them for who they were. But instead of experiencing mutual love and support, they have been sucked into a never-ending cycle of manipulation, emotional abuse, and exploitation. They are left questioning their own self-worth, wondering how they could have been so blind to the reality of the relationship and where things went wrong. It can be heartbreaking for the new supply to realize that their effort to save the relationship has only contributed to their own emotional destruction. This painful awakening is often followed by a period of deep emotional turmoil. The new supply may feel humiliated, betrayed, and utterly confused about everything that has happened. They may struggle with feelings of shame, guilt, and regret, blaming themselves for not recognizing the red flags sooner. They may replay events in their mind, searching for the moments when they should have noticed the signs, but even then, they might find it hard to accept that they were manipulated so effectively. It is essential to understand, however, that the blame is not theirs to carry. Narcissists are experts at hiding their true nature and manipulating their partners into believing that the issues in the relationship lie with them, rather than with the narcissist's behavior. The new supply is not at fault for the narcissist's actions. They did not cause the abuse, nor are they responsible for the narcissist's inability to change. It's also important to recognize that the new supply is not alone in their experience. Many others have found themselves in similar situations, deceived by the narcissist's charm, their grand promises of love, and the carefully crafted persona they project. As difficult as it may be to accept, the new supply must eventually come to terms with the harsh reality of their situation. The first step in recovery is recognizing and understanding the narcissist's manipulative tactics. This awareness is crucial for breaking free from the cycle of abuse. The new supply must begin to reclaim their own life, which requires learning to prioritize themselves and setting healthy boundaries. They have to learn to accept that they are worthy of real love and respect, not the fake affection the narcissist offered. This process is not easy, and it will likely involve periods of intense emotional pain, but it is also incredibly liberating. Healing starts when they take back control of their life, stop blaming themselves, and realize that they can build a future where they are free from the narcissist's toxic grip. It may take time, but with support from those who truly care about them, the new supply can gradually rebuild their confidence and sense of self-worth, one step at a time. The recovery process is long, but it is possible, and it's the first step toward reclaiming their peace, happiness, and emotional well-being. In the end, the narcissist's game is a losing one. They may have many sources of supply, but they will never be able to fill the emptiness inside themselves. The new supply, on the other hand, has the power to heal, grow, and reclaim their happiness. By stepping away from the narcissist and recognizing their own strength, the new supply can finally break free from the toxic cycle and begin living a life that is truly their own. Thank you for taking the time to watch through this video. If you found it helpful or insightful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more content like this. Your support allows us to continue providing valuable content to those navigating these complex and challenging dynamics. Feel free to leave your comments or thoughts below. Together, we can help others recognize and break free from narcissistic abuse. Why narcissists break up with you but won't leave you alone. Have you ever found yourself caught in a relationship with a narcissist where they suddenly decide to end things, only for you to realize that, despite their decision, they can't seem to truly let you go? It's a confusing and frustrating experience that leaves you feeling emotionally drained and questioning how someone can push you away and still cling to your presence at the same time. This push-pull dynamic is a hallmark of relationships with narcissists, and it can leave you stuck in a cycle of confusion and emotional turmoil. 1 minute, they're ending the relationship, and the next, they're reappearing, causing even more instability and emotional pain in your life. It's hard to understand how someone could behave this way, especially when their actions don't make sense. Why would they break up with you, only to continually re-enter your life as if nothing ever ended? To understand why narcissists engage in this baffling behavior, we must first look at the psychology behind their actions. Narcissists are deeply driven by an insatiable need for control, validation, and attention. Their self-worth is entirely dependent on how others perceive them and how much admiration they receive from those around them. When they break up with you, it's often because they feel you no longer serve their ego or give them the attention they crave. Once they've discarded you, they may feel a temporary sense of relief, as though they've regained control over the situation. However, this relief is short-lived. As soon as they perceive that you're moving on, healing, or finding independence, their insecurity and fear of losing control take over. This fear triggers their need to pull you back in and reassert their dominance. They can't stand the thought of you being completely freed from their influence. In their mind, you're their property, and they're not ready to let go, whether they admit it or not. So, why would they break up with you in the first place, only to pull you back in when you start to heal? It's about control. Narcissists thrive on keeping their partners in a constant state of emotional flux. By breaking up with you, they create an emotional vacuum where you are left wondering what went wrong, what you could have done differently, and why they left in the first place. This uncertainty keeps you emotionally invested in them, and the longer you remain emotionally tied, the harder it becomes to break free. When you start to detach and regain your own sense of self, the narcissist feels threatened, as if they're losing their power over you. They need to feel as though they have the upper hand, and by reappearing in your life, they reinforce the idea that they are still in control. It's not about wanting you back in the traditional sense. It's about maintaining power and dominance over your emotions. This cycle of breaking up and coming back, of pushing you away and pulling you in, creates a toxic dynamic that can leave you emotionally battered and confused. Narcissists often feed off the instability they create in their relationships, as it ensures that they always have a source of validation and attention. The highs and lows of these relationships can keep you hooked, causing you to constantly seek approval and affirmation from someone who is never fully available or emotionally stable. It's a never-ending loop that keeps you emotionally dependent on them, even though their behavior may cause you immense pain and frustration. Understanding the psychological reasoning behind why narcissists break up with you and then insist on staying in your life is key to breaking free from their